Hi, Krystal Jackson with Barbee Jackson Insurance, here to talk to you today about the difference between garage liability and general liability. To start with, let's talk about general liability since this is the most common coverage that people are familiar with. A standard general liability policy will provide protection for the business operations as well as the premises. So for example, if I have an office and I have a general liability policy and a customer comes to see me, trips and falls, gets hurt, that's where my general liability will come into play. If I'm a contractor and I'm doing work on a home and I cause bodily injury or property damage to somebody, again, the general liability is going to cover my operations. So why not a general liability for a risk that deals in autos, RVs, motorcycles, for example? Well, a traditional general liability policy will include an exclusion for any motorized item. So therefore, any operations related to these items, again, your autos, your motorcycles, RVs, campers, it's going to exclude and eliminate the vast part of the operations. This is where we enter the garage liability policy. So the traditional garage liability policy is going to have coverage for auto liability. This will be while you are driving those items. Again, an example would be driving an inventory vehicle back from the auction and getting into an at-fault accident. This will pay bodily injury and property damage to the party that you hit. The next part of coverage is other than auto liability. And this is what will mimic the general liability policy on the occurrence basis. So an example here would be a customer who has come onto the lot. Maybe they've tripped in a pothole and have gotten hurt. It will pay the bodily injury for that claim. The next part of coverage is the other than auto aggregate. Again, similar to a general liability policy, the aggregate is the maximum payout for claims for the policy term, which is 1 year. This coverage only applies to the other than auto as there is no cap for auto liability claims. Now, of course, with everything, there are exceptions to the rule. There are carriers out there that instead of writing these types of risks on a traditional garage liability form, they will write it on a general liability form and endorse coverage for the auto and remove that exclusion. So simply having a general liability policy for, say, an auto dealership doesn't mean that you're not protected, but it is important to make sure that the agent you're working with understands the coverage and then also make sure that that policy has removed the exclusion for the auto liability so as to make sure you are adequately protected. For more information, go to our website, barbeejackson.com, and always like and subscribe so you never miss a video.